So a lot of people have been asking me about these video clips and how they can create their own videos. These were made using the Seedance 2.0, which is the current state-of-the-art video model, and on the BibleWorld platform. So I thought I would create some more videos, and I want to create a whole scene of clips from the 4 beasts in Daniel chapter 7. And what you're seeing here on Facebook, these were only created in 480 resolution, so pretty low resolution. And I want to create some more using the high resolution in the Seedance 2.0 models. So we come over to BibleWorld, and you can see in the Explore page we have a whole range of images. And I'm going to go to the beasts, prophetic beasts, and have a look at the images that we have there and choose the one that I want to use as my reference image, which is this one here. Now, shout out to James Bowen, one of the users that created the original source for this image, and I have edited a little bit to fix up the leopard. And let's get straight into it. So the first thing that we're going to do is create a reference image. I'm going to use this inspiration, create a new image from this. We're going to choose the Gemini 3.1 flash, 2K resolution, and aspect ratio. Let's go 5:4 aspect ratio. And I want to extract the dreadful and terrible beast, the 4th beast, because this beast is actually not the default character in BibleWorld for that beast. It's a different one. I think this is a better image for the 4th beast. So I'm going to ask the model to extract that 4th beast and have it isolated against a white background. So you can manually choose characters, and we have a whole library of characters, including things like the 4 beasts. So we type in beast here, or bear, lion, leopard, etc. You'll see the beasts that we have pre-generated that for Daniel chapter 7. The lion, the leopard, and the 4th beast. You see the beast revelation in there as well. But the 4th beast that we have in the library here, I think I like this other 4th beast better. Alright, we'll queue that up, and we might get 2 going, one with the Pro model as well, Gemini Pro. We'll just see which one looks best. I often like to get multiple things queuing up at the same time. And while that's going on, let's create the prompts that I want. So I'm imagining I want each beast arising out of the sea on their own, and then they come together, and then they run forward up onto a beach, and then we go over the shoulder behind, looking, Prophet Daniel looking out at the 4 beasts. I'm going to paste in these verses from Daniel chapter 7 and just ask Gemini to create these scenes for me. And it's going to do a pretty good job at that. And I'm a bit lazy, but this is something that language models really shine at. So I'm describing what I want the scene to look like. Cinematic video scene of each beast rising from the water. Show each beast individually first, then come together, run out of the ocean as the camera moves back. To show an over-the-shoulder view of the prophet Daniel, as he views this scene in vision. It must be epic, vivid, colourful, detailed, yeah, all those adjectives. Cinematic. And we might get Gemini to create this, and I might get this into Claude chat as well, and just see which one creates the better scenes for us to use. So we're going to create 8 detailed scenes. The 4 beasts individually, then some different scenes as we build up to the really wide shot. Put the same prompt into Claude, and Claude Opus 7 has just dropped like in the last 24 hours, which is pretty exciting. Now let's come back and have a look at the isolated. Perfect. I don't like that first one. Looks like the Pro model did a bit better than Gemini Flash there. That is great. So we're going to come back to that image later now, and we're going to use that as a reference image for the fourth beast. Now I think I like the output from Claude the best for these scenes. So we're going to go through the eight scenes that it's created. We might tweak the prompts just slightly, but that looks really good. So let's go with the first prompt here. Paste it over into BibleWorld and change it to video. We're going to go with Seedance 2.0, 720 and 10 seconds and 69 aspect ratio. And the first scene is just the backdrop. There's no beasts. This is just the four winds of heaven, us driving on the Great Sea, etc. In fact, when I recorded this video, so I'm doing a voiceover actually, because when I originally recorded this tutorial, I had the wrong microphone selected and didn't get any audio. So I'm doing a voiceover of this after the fact. I actually pasted both the Gemini and the Claude scene output for the introductory scene to see which would be best. And for the rest of them, I used the output from Claude. But whether you use ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, doesn't really matter. You're just using those chat tools to create the prompts for you. It's just really a faster way to do it. And I really like that when I'm a bit short on time. All right, we'll see these videos in just a moment, and we'll have a look. All right, the videos have finished generating. Let's hit play. So this one is the version from Claude, and the one above it or below it, I think is from Gemini. Let's play. It's pretty good. Four winds of heaven. No, it's 5. Not so sure. Looks like Gemini has got a single tornado. Let's play that. Yeah, not too bad. We might use that, but not exactly what I'm after. Yeah, I think this one's better. But I think I want to create it looking a bit more stormy, so I want the rain to be coming down and just be a bit more stormy, so I'll tweak the prompt a little bit and retry the one from Claude. Okay, what I'm going to do is actually get a reference image out of this. So actually I'm going to download, it's this last one I've just generated here, which is a bit more stormy, a bit more rainy, and it has the 4 tornadoes, which is good. We're going to download this and put it into Adobe Premiere, and I'm going to grab a screenshot or just a freeze frame of one of the frames from the video, and that will become the reference image that we'll use to generate our individual scenes of each beast. So yep, save that video, open up Premiere Pro, let's create a new project. And we'll drag our video clip into there. And oh, that didn't work, try that again. And we need to reset the workspace, it's a bit messed up because of a different monitor layout. Here we go. Okay, drop the clip in, and then let's find a nice place to grab a frame. And that looks pretty good. Screenshot that. Now we're going to add this as a reference image. So we'll add 2 reference images. We'll have this backdrop, and then we'll have our beast, lion, leopard, bear, etc. Save that. Go back to BibleWorld as a reference image. Drop that in. Now we need to get a reference image of the beast. Let's copy a prompt over from Claude. Yep, the lion with eagle's wings. Just copy and paste that. I think Claude's prompts are a bit better. And now we can't actually directly select from our character library here, unfortunately. Maybe we should add that feature. So what we can do is we can go over to the Explore page and directly copy that image out. So I'm just going to open into a new tab so I don't lose my other reference image. I'm going to search up for the lion beast. We've got the 4 beasts there. Let's go with the lion. And I'm going to open that one up, and I'll right click and just copy the image. So that copies it into the browser memory. Now all you got to do is hit Control V on your keyboard, just the Control V, which is paste shortcut. When you do that, your image gets pasted automatically into the reference image section from the clipboard memory. So great, so we got those two now. We can get these queued up, and I think we are ready to go. We'll probably create a couple of versions of this. I'm not too worried about burning tokens at the moment, so I had a fair few tokens to burn. Activating the Seedance models, I had to buy, spend a fair few dollars to activate the models. So we've got a few credits to use. I'm looking forward to seeing how these look. Alright, it's finished. Let's have a look at the first lion clip. Yes, wings got plucked out. Oops. I think that might be a bit early to be plucking the wings in our scenes, but we can certainly use the first part of that. That's fantastic. Okay, let's work on the bear now. So we're going to find the bear in our character library. Copy that guy out. Replace the lion, Control V, shortcut, paste. That in there. And grab our prompt. Now notice that we've added a little bit to the a prompt to the audio. So I realized that I don't actually want any background music to this audio because we'll probably add our own soundtrack. So I've instructed the audio to be just natural, environmental sounds. So need to scroll down a little bit in the prompt here to see it. But anyway, the prompt is basically for audio, there it is, no music, just natural environment sounds only, the beast, storm, thunder, etc. So that's, yeah, what we want for the music. So I'm getting a couple of those queued up. Again, I'm doing more than one at a time because I know that this is kind of the nature of AI videos at this stage. They're not perfect. They do make mistakes. So I like to get 2 or 3 queued up just so it's saving my time. I know it burns more credits, so yeah, if you want to be more careful with your credits, then just do one at a time. But for me, my time is short, so let's see how these look. Okay, while that bear is getting generated, we're going to go ahead and start this scene for the leopard as well. So again, we're copying out our reference image. Paste that guy over. Get our new prompt in. Yeah, I guess the leopard is flying. Is it running or is it flying? It's got 4 wings, it can fly, can't it? But we might tweak this prompt a little bit. I don't want the heads to be growing, they just need to be protruding, I suppose. Alright, so we'll get a couple of those queued up. Looks like one of our generations failed. That's right, it happens when it fails that you don't get charged for the credits. Alright, we'll get a couple of leopard shots. Now I think this leopard one is going to be the hardest because the AI models, they really struggle with 4 heads and 4 wings. I know creating the image model for this was quite hard and it gets it wrong all the time. So Yeah, we'll see. All right, we're getting the, while we're waiting now, we're getting the Dreadful Beast queued up, and you can see we can use as reference from the edit button here and just directly add the image to our reference area like that. Okay, very good. Let's see, this might be a, did we check that video out? Let's play it. Oh, the bear, we've got a bear, very nice. Yeah, not exactly coming out of the water. Oh, what was that at the end? It's a bit weird. He spits in his ribs. I think we can do better than that. Yeah, I think we can do better than that. That end is a bit weird. What's the other one we've got there? I think there was 2 in there. Yeah, let's check this one out. Much nicer. Yes. Very good. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that. That's good. That's good. We'll use that one, download that one. There. I think we should make a folder rather than putting in music videos. Let's do this properly. Alright, Danielle 7. Alright. We're up to we're working on our 4th beast, so let's copy that prompt over again. We can do these things in parallel, which is a really cool thing that BibleWorld lets you do, generating things in parallel. Okay, so let's check through this prompt, make sure it's fine. Pretty epic prompt. It looks like we got a leopard video. So I'm going to, for the sake of time, skip through a whole bunch of this. It's just so you don't have to watch. You know, basically I'm just iterating, doing the same things over and over. The leopard video, I had to create like 8 or 10 clips. No, probably more, like 10 to 15 different clips before I got a video for the leopard that had 4 heads and 4 wings that I was happy with. So that was, yeah, quite a long process. Let's just play one of these leopard videos and you'll see what I mean and how it just gets it wrong. Oh, 5 heads and 2 wings. Oh no. And 4 heads and 4 wings at the end, but not really good enough. So you see what I mean. But this took a lot of iteration to get the leopard right. Alright, here's one of the videos of the beast. It's pretty good, but it was supposed to be rising out of the ocean, so I'm not sure about the flaming horns. It's like the Bible doesn't talk about flaming horns. That's it's a bit over the top for me, so I'm going to keep trying here. Alright, got a better one of the 4th beast now coming up out of the water. Still some flames. I probably should have edited the prompts, but that's good enough. I'm happy with that. Leopard fails. Again, we've got a 6-headed leopard with 2 wings. No, that's not what we want. Let's see what this one is. Some more leopard fails. I love how that pops out. 3 heads and 4 wings. Almost. It was really close. It was a real shame that that one didn't have. I love how it just bursts out of the water. It's great. But yeah, we really need 4 heads. Sorry. Alright, we finally got a good one of the leopard. The 2 back wings sort of pop out, but it is 4 wings and 4 heads for most of the clip. So we're gonna run with that. Gonna download it. And great, we've got our 4 different beasts now. We need to now put this together into a scene, a combined scene. So I tried to add a whole bunch of reference images now here, and what I'm trying to do is to create this scene of the 4 beasts now together running across the ocean, you know, flying, running with the storm and everything, and they're running towards the beach. But when the first couple of generations I did for this just wasn't working. So what I had to do was first create an image. So you can see what I'm doing here is just bringing the reference images together. but it really wasn't working. So I had to iterate quite a bit to create first a still image and then use that as the starting point of the video and let the video roll through from there with all the individual beasts. So you can see we're just doing the same thing here, copying, pasting, getting our reference images sorted out. In fact, actually, at this point I realized, hey, I can only put a maximum of 3 reference images for my video. Well, surely we can add more than 3 reference images. So we do a little bit of a search for the API documentation for Seedance, which is a model, just to check how many reference images it supports, and found out that it supports up to 9 reference images. So that was great. So then I just paused the video for a few minutes and went and updated the code in the back end and the front end to support up to 9 reference images for the video generations, which was great. That worked, and was able to add all the reference images that I wanted to add. Now, while the code was being deployed for the change to increase the number of reference images, I got this leopard clip into Premiere, and I really liked this view of the 4 wings and the 4 heads, because I feel like that's a very clear signal, that's a very clear image to use as a reference image, that there's 4 wings, you can see them very clearly marked, and the 4 heads. And I think the AI model is going to have a better go at using this as a reference image rather than the reference image that I've got in BibleWorld by default. So yeah, I exported that as a screenshot, and then we're going to use that reference image to create the group shot of the 4 beasts walking together. So you can see we've got 9 reference images supported now in video generation, and here we are just adding in the extra references. Here we are actually still trying to create a video from like heaps of reference images, and this video is going to be like the group shot of the beast walking out. This is the video that it didn't really work out, but here we go. We are just adding more reference images and getting ready to create that shot. Here you can see one of the failed attempts with all those reference images. So we've got the tornadoes, we've got the 4 beasts. It just doesn't look natural, and the slow-mo also wrecks it. So I didn't really like that version. Alright, here we are now trying to create an image using the same reference images, or most of the same reference images. And I've taken the video prompt and I've just asked Claude to just create a image prompt based on the same scene. And just nice thing now to make it shorter and simpler. It's just a short prompt there that we're going to paste in. I'm not worried about the style. I just want to put the prompt in itself. I might tweak that a little bit, and we'll keep iterating, just trying to create a scene of the 4 beasts ready to run forward out of the ocean. Alright, so I probably created, I don't know, 15 or 20 images. Just kept iterating on the prompt till got something that's pretty close to what I wanted. And so you see we're using that different reference of the leopard. That's a really clear 4-winged, 4-headed view where the leopard's actually flying, which is pretty cool. But yeah, this should make it a bit easier for the model. So we're now going to remove all the individual reference images, just go back to a single reference image, keep it simple, and we will look at all the images that I've created. And we're going to go back to trying to create a video now using this as a starting point. And you'll see that the result is pretty close to what we want. Let's have a look. Okay, it's getting there. Just don't like the tornadoes and don't like the slow-mo bit at the end. So I'm going to edit the prompt and make sure we don't have any slow motion happening, and we'll create some more iterations. One thing I wish is, and I tried to do this, get it to make the animals look wet, because it looks like they're almost dry animals running through the rain. But I think to do that properly, you would have to go back to your single images for each of the beasts, and just set each one individually to make them wet, make their fur look wet and dark and matted, etc. And then rebuild your group reference image again. Here's another one which is, yeah, not the best because the slow-mo and the prompt. We don't want slow-mo. These beasts are not slow-moing, they're running. So we'll keep iterating. We're also going to increase the length to 15 seconds to give the model a bit more time to create something nice, and it gives us a bit more flexibility when we're editing later. Alright, this is really starting to come together now. Let's have a look at this one. Still slow-moing. We mustn't fix the prompt properly. It's getting there, but no, it still looks unnatural. It's pretty epic, but not quite what we want. Alright, now it's getting closer to what we want. Running forward, that's it. Yes, beach, perfect. Yes, love it. I love it. Alright, so we're going to run with this, and I like it how it's not having too much trouble with the leopard. I know we've got 2 baby wings and 2 big wings, but anyway, it's 4 wings, 4 heads, that's what's important. So I'm very happy with that. And we did a second iteration here. What do we we got a man riding the 4th beast here. No idea why it got that, why it thought that was a good idea. So yeah, that one's a dud, unfortunately. Okay, now I've downloaded that clip and got it into Premiere. And I'm going to find a good spot to take a screen grab. And we're going to actually basically extend this video clip. So I'm just taking a screen grab, and I'm going to use that screen grab as a start reference for video in BibleWorld. So I'm just looking particularly for a frame where the wings of the leopard are really clearly, the 4 wings are clearly outlined. So it's not going to have trouble morphing those 4 wings back into 2 wings. So yeah, somewhere like that looks pretty good. So we can take a screenshot of that, and that will be our reference image for the last final scene. Okay, so we've got that reference image in now, and we're creating a final scene, which is going to be a zoom out showing the prophet Daniel looking out over the ocean at this impressive scene of the 4 beasts rising from the turbulent sea. Now while this is going, let's create a soundtrack. And I was deliberating here whether we should create an actual song or just like music soundtrack. And I thought, oh, why not? Let's try and create a song. So, some of you have been asking as well for workflow around creating songs. And really, it's nothing revolutionary. What I'm doing here is really just what the program provides. Put your lyrics in, styles, etc. Probably what's part of the harder part of it is just maybe iterating until you get a song that you really like, and tweaking the prompts a little bit. And that's really up to your personal tastes and preferences to how you do that and what you create. So I'm going to create some lyrics for a song. I'm just copying the section in Daniel 7, chapter 7, verse 2 to 7. I'm going to paste this in, and I'm going to ask my just generic chat. Again, I'm using Claude, but you can use ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever. Take these verses and turn it into a short, condensed, poetic, roughly. I think we roughly need to be about probably 1 minute, or maybe a little bit less than 1 minute, because I've got roughly about that length, that number of clips, about 50 seconds ish. So we're going to try and have a short little song that goes for roughly that length. So yeah, I'm cool to use Claude Opus 4.7, which is a very new model. I might get Gemini to do this as well. I don't really actually like this output from Claude. I think it can be improved. So we might give it another shot, and we'll get Gemini to try it as well. Put into Gemini, new chat, go to the Pro. Say I want to try to stick to the original text as much as possible. Don't want to go too far away from the original text. It's not a scripture song, obviously, but it's going to be close to convey the same message. Maybe just 2 stanzas, but a bit more specific. I might give Claude another shot. Alright, let's see what this last scene is that we've created here while we're waiting for that to go. Yes! Oh, that's pretty good, except the beasts disappear, which I don't really like. So, they both were pretty similar. So I edited the prompt to say that the camera angle needs to be like a drone view, aerial view, going up, rising up into the air, rather than down like that, so we can still see the beasts just far away at a distance. Alright, back to the song lyrics. That's not too bad, so I'm going to paste those into Suno, and we're just going to trim that up a bit. We need to use the square brackets, which is what Suno likes for non-lyrical text. It's not going to be in the lyrics. And now this is just a case of iteration here in Suno. So you can put some directions in the lyric box, sort of in line with your square brackets, and then you've got the style field where you can add your styles. And I'm just going to get my AI to create a style prompt for me. So just, again, your generic chat window, ask it to describe how this song is going to sound. You want to use roughly 500 to 900 characters in Suno, and tell it what orchestral instruments and vocals you want, and we'll get a style that we can just then paste into Suno. I know I'm a bit lazy, yeah, but it's just convenient, and I don't have to think too much about it, and then I can just tweak that if I want to tweak it. The style that you put in Suno definitely affects the song a fair bit, but it's not absolutely followed perfectly. Suno has a bit of its own mind sometimes as well. I want to go with a orchestral soundtrack with vocals. I don't want it to sound too modern in terms of too rhythmic, etc. So that's just my preferences on music. Alright, that'll do. Let's paste that in, and we'll create ourselves a song. I'm going to add some exclusions. This is only for the advanced, the paid Suno plans. You can add these exclusions, which does help getting your genre that you want to get. So you can exclude all the genres that you don't want to have in the music. Let's call this Four Great Beasts. Yeah. Great, so we'll create that. Let's go back to what we've got here. Let's see what these updated videos are now. Yes, that is what we're talking about. Aerial drone view zooming out the prophet and the four beasts. Perfect. This one, not quite as good because it does still go down again where it obscures the beasts. So we'll go with that first one. That's why I like to sometimes get a couple going, because often almost always one is significantly better than the other, or vice versa, and you can just grab that. So we've got all the video clips that we need now. We can edit that together in Premiere, and we can, it's a fairly simple edit. It's just stitching the clips together, clipping them, cutting them, trimming them a little bit, and then finishing off our Suno song and adding that as a soundtrack. So I'm going to skip some of this just for the sake of time, and we'll go back to Suno and see how our songs go. Let's have a listen. First thing I notice is the song's too long. It's 1.5 minutes. So we need to be able to shorten that down to under 1 minute ideally. And I don't think we had any vocal instructions in the styles, so it's just sounding instrumental, which is really not what we want either. So yeah, we're going to make some tweaks. I'm going to remove the square brackets, because that does sometimes tend to make Suno want to add more long or instrumental interludes, and we don't really want that in this, because we just want to go straight into the vocals. So I don't know if I've done that quite yet, but you actually need to remove all those square bracket directions from the lyrics for it to really, yeah, there we go. So I'm taking all those out so we can go straight into the words of the song. We'll make it a bit shorter. Just going to make a few tweaks to the style. Very short intro, or maybe no, yeah. I need to add something in there about vocals to say what vocals we want. We might try bass, baritone, tenor sort of vocals. Alright, let's have a listen to oh yeah, so ending in bass solo. So let's skip ahead a little bit and we'll have a listen to what the next version sounds like. So it went straight into the words, which is good. Don't really like the rolling on the R's. So
rise, devour, the voice decree. Leopard next with wings of four, foreheads given rule and more.
not too bad, but that track. Okay. Narration's a nice touch. I think we can do better, so I'm going to keep iterating. From here, we've got more songs. I created probably about, I don't know, 20 to 30 different variations before I found one that I really liked. Changing different voices, bass, baritone, tenor, you can just swap that around. Yeah. When I'm listening to one, I'm kind of always making sure that there's one or two more ready to go or queuing up so I don't have to waste my time.
Four great beasts rose up to me.
Too long of an intro, I think.
Lion
Voices pretty dark.
torn away a human thing. Bear a rising ribs of free.
Yeah, I don't really like the tone, to be honest.
The voice decreed.
Sounds a bit heavy metal.
Foreheads given.
So at some point I thought, it's too scary, and I asked it to just make the prompt sound less scary. Make that song sound less scary, so tweak the prompt a bit. Again, like I could manually do this myself, but it's nice to have the AI just do it for you. And then it sounded too happy, or didn't quite fit the scene. I created a few more tracks with this variation of the prompt. So then just dialed it back somewhere in between. So it's still like we've got a bit of a dark, ominous sort of tone to it, but it's not. The song doesn't sound too scary and ridiculous. So yeah, lots of variations here, but I'm just for the sake of time for this tutorial, I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit here. Let's have a listen to some of the liked variations that I thought weren't too bad.
Lion with the eagle's wings, torn away a human thing, bear a rising ribs of three. Rise, devour. The voice decree. Leopard next with wings of four. Four heads given rule and more. Then a fourth, no name.
So with the narration, I actually added some square brackets back into the lyrics to instruct it to do narration for. Yeah, I ended up not liking this one, so I'm going to unlike it. But anyway, let's not show. You can't see it in the lyrics box, but I did have narration in square brackets for a little bit where I wanted to have a narration, which was just for a rise to an hour. That little bit.
Lion with the eagle's wings, torn away a human thing.
I ended up not really liking this version too, but it was one of the better ones.
Rise, devour. The voice decree. Leopard next with wings of four. Four heads given rule and more. Then a fourth, no name, no peer. Iron teeth of dread and fear. Crushing, trampling, all it faced 10 horns. All its
Yeah, so I ended up not going with this one, so the version that I went with, play that for you in just a minute. Yeah, so there's this one here, which was the one I went with. So we're going to download it and and drop it into the different one that you just heard. But yeah, we're going to download this and drop it into Premiere. Alright, time to put audio and video together. And from here on, it's basically just video editing, just simple video editing, just adding matching up the soundtrack and the backing track. And yeah, that's it. Alright, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it's been helpful for you to be able to see some of the workflow in reference images, prompting. A lot of it is creating videos, is getting your still images first of the scenes that you want to create, and then putting those together. Now keep in mind that with Seedance, it has a problem with real human faces, so your reference images that contain real human faces are going to be either not be able to be used, or those faces are going to actually end up being different. So yeah. You would reach out to us by email or contact us on the website at adventai.app if you have any questions, or if you're having trouble creating anything. That's at adventai.app, or you can email us at hello@adventai.app. And of course, to create these videos like this and images, it's BibleWorld.ai. I hope this is really useful and helpful for you, and that we can create content that will be a blessing to people, that will turn people's attention to the prophecy and to the scenes that are rapidly being fulfilled in our world today. God bless you, and stay faithful.